Hey guys, today with the topic, does money make you attractive to women? This is something that is actually partially accepted by some people, but in my eyes is the most superficial crap you can think. Especially if you are frustrated and somehow want to diminish the value of people with success with women or the women themselves who do not want you. That the path does not lead to what you hope for inside, I do not have to say about it, or I do not want to say that there is not the exception. So the woman who is only keen on the money of a man, there are heaps. But the exception does not make the rule, and if we look again at the attraction that a man naturally exerts on a woman, security and social status are very high on the list. Both you have if you have money usually, but we roll the whole thing here from behind, I think. How do you usually get a lot of money? You need a certain appearance and the firm will to achieve something for it. Hard work, dedication, and the right work ethic. You have to set your priorities right and be willing to keep developing and learning. In my opinion, these are the qualities that make men attractive to women. It is only through these that they accumulate the money in the first place or create the security and to some extent self-confidence that they can exude. So it is basically skills and things that you can acquire if you only want it. Winning the lottery makes you attractive to women who have no interest in you but in your money, but do you want that? People who say women are generally attracted to men with money think like that and therefore, even with luck, only get the lowest drawer women they actually despise so much for it. If they would put their energy instead of thinking about it and hating them simply in themselves, then they would notice that suddenly completely different women would be interested in them and they would surprise themselves with the fact that their thesis was simply wrong. I've read something about it, I don't know exactly by whom, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki, but basically the core statement was that people who are financially educated have no difficulty whatsoever in starting from scratch with their existing knowledge and achieving exactly the same thing in a relatively short time as they did the first time. Rich people are rich because they know how they have to act, and in quotes poor people, who have never learned what to do but like all swim with the flow. You can push them millions of winnings in the lottery on the bank account, within a few years they will have the same money problems as before instead of having increased the money. And why? Because they never learned how to behave to be successful and now give in to their basest desires or do what society expects them to do. You always have to ask yourself, are they able to raise these sums on their own? And I'm not talking about the fact that they have to do it, of course there are other things involved. If you found a company, for example, it is not only completely dependent on you, there can be a pandemic and your concept is already gone. But to have taken this step, to have gained the experience, not to have been afraid to risk something for something you are burning for, all things that will bring you forward. Of course you don't have to, you can just as well be successful in your permanent job, that even offers more planned security for women. It's really a matter of taste and depends on your own ambitions. You can be successful in everything you do in one way or another. I used to be a firm believer that you should do what you love, and in one way or another I would still subscribe to that today. But I think it's bullshit that the financial aspect comes automatically and that women can measure the value of a man by that. At the end of the day, what you love is usually something you are particularly good at. Therefore the confirmation comes from inside and outside, and therefore we love it. So in my job, I'd rather focus on things I'm good at instead of things I enjoy doing in my free time. Chances are that after a short settling in period, I'll start to burn for these things and stay motivated to improve myself and increase my self-worth as a result. And that's the key word. Increase self-worth. Work on yourself. This increases your attractiveness to women and is just like money, only a byproduct of it. When you look at successful people, you don't see how much work and learning is behind their success, how many times they fell flat on their face and still kept going. How many years it took them to gain certain insights. You only see what they reveal about themselves and their wealth. But these two things don't reflect reality or are the reason why women are into them. The process they have gone through and are still going through, because no one is ever perfect. There is always one or two things we see in ourselves that can be improved. This process is what makes them attractive. So don't look for the reason in any excuses and tell yourself that you can't achieve that because of it. You will never play football like Messi or look like the guy you have chosen as your role model. So what? Then you play your way and improve to your best possible self. Why do you want to be like someone else in the first place? Because he looks better to women in your eyes? Which women do you think? Do the ones you're talking about even know him personally so they can say what besides their looks and status they find attractive? It's not bad to have role models, that's for sure. But if anything, you want to achieve your best by looking at what they have done and how they have done it. And not be exactly 1:1 the same as them. Likewise, it makes no sense to begrudge someone their money, because most of the time you don't see the process of how much hard work it took. And that process is the really important thing for you. You have to know what you want and find a way to get there that you won't deviate from. You must look for the fault or the solution in yourself instead of looking at others and envying or judging them. This is time you can't use effectively for yourself and energy you put into someone else who doesn't give a shit about you. I could imagine this is a relatively controversial topic and would really like to know what you think about the whole thing, and for experiences with it have made, so write me something in the comments. Take care, and until the next video.